Well, everybody, T-Dog, Dave Raw for Dynamic Rainmakers, doing my weekly veterinarian medicine runs, courier runs, and this is Friday, end of the week, start of June, and just doing my regular routes. Not much has been going on. All nights. We only had 4 nights this week because it was a short week after the holiday, and they've all been 12 stops. So I'm coming from my second, going down to my third, and that's really about the most I can say about my route tonight. There was another YouTube guy, Everything Apex, talking about what are the 2 things you need for expediting. And then I was thinking, okay, what are the things you need for courier work? Pretty similar. One of the things you need is a good vehicle. We all need a good vehicle. The second thing you probably need, just like he talks about, is a phone, a good cell phone that gets good coverage. He talks about some people using multiple phones. I only have one. Right now that's working out for me because I don't really operate with the need for constant contact with a dispatch or broker or whatever. The only thing I need to really have on is my app that I use for my courier route. And that app really is just provides the step-by-step route I need to go on, and the picture-taking capabilities. So you have to have a cell phone that has good picture capabilities. So I was thinking, well, what else in the medical courier world, in the veterinarian medicine courier world, or any type of courier work, it may be a little bit different for the type of things you need to carry with you. Of course, we all need to have some type of a snack or something to be hydrated, especially during the warmer months. Something else you need are coolers for your samples. Some people just get away with one larger cooler. I'm actually using 2. One is a smaller one. I take in and out of places I do my pickups, and I put them all in a larger one that's in the back of the Jeep. Something else you might want to have are things like good pens to write on, take notes, little memo pads. I have memo pads. I usually use it for keeping a tally of how many pickups I've had at a particular stop. I use one of those little tally counter things to kind of double check my counts. So every time I pick up a sample, it's a click for each one. Good flashlights during the night, of course. Things like that. Now, some people may want to run separate GPS for their map system. With the type of application I use, you really don't need that, but it's nice to have something like that. I do have the capability on my app for doing signatures. So the type of thing I have a cell phone that has a stylus. It's a Moto G stylus cell phone, but you don't need anything like that. You can just use use your finger to make your signatures with, or whoever has to sign it. Your cell phone should have some type of capability of sending at least PDFs, because if you need to ever take a picture of a piece of paperwork, that capability is there. You can send that on to an email, attached to your emails. Really, there's not really too much more. If you're doing light freight, it might help to have one of those small foldable dollies. In certain situations, I've used like a little cart thing. It's a cart you can take down and put up. It's actually for moving stuff around in stadiums. It's a four-wheel type of thing. It looks like a little wagon. Those come in handy. Other things like spill kits, those are good to have. If something happens with one of your samples, gets loose and breaks and stuff, you have stuff everywhere. And the other thing you gotta have on the other end of this are good dispatchers if you're doing light freight, so they can keep you moving. Also, in the case of bringing in samples, they ask you for your counts and everything else. They give you check-in numbers that you have to enter into your app, at least the one I'm using. So it's things like that that help a lot. So another thing, there's a lot of soft skills you need when you talk to the customers, picking up stuff, if you have to interact with people. Just having a good attitude with the people you're working with at these different stops. That comes in really good. That's really good to have that. There's really not too much more. You can get other things. I have binders to keep notes in and stuff for each contract I'm running. I have 4 contracts I'm actually connected into. Right now I'm just running one of them because of my time schedule, but I'm still on standby for the other ones. So things like that. Everything you get that you use specifically for your business is a tax write-off. Your mileage, don't forget to keep track of your mileage. I use Stride for my mileage tracker. It's pretty good. So things like that will really help your business. Not really too much more in the way of supplies on this. I mean, it's pretty simple. You may think of other things. I have a couple of those. They're like a clipboard, but it has an internal thing that folds over so you can keep papers inside of it if you need to, so they won't get wet. Those things help. Are kind of expensive, but it's something that you can have. You don't have to have it. I had one and it started falling apart. I guess it got kind of a cheaper one and it fell apart, unfortunately. So things like that you can use in this business. But the top things are, of course, a reliable vehicle. It doesn't have to be a van for courier work. But if you want to carry more stuff, a small cargo van could help. And of course, a cell phone, with good coverage on it, and good communication with your dispatchers when you need to. And really, those are about it. I mean, there's not too much that's really required in this business, other than attention to detail. It's not really an item per se. So, just stuff like that you can use in this business. Now, this business is easy to get into. You really don't need to do too much to get into it. Just go out on Indeed or Facebook Jobs or Google or anything of that nature, Indeed, and just search for courier. First on your Google, courier companies near me, and that should give you an idea of who's in your area. Contact them, ask them if they need drivers. If they do, great. Go in and get signed up for it. If they don't, ask them to get on a waiting list. This is how you get into this stuff. I just kind of walked into it. I was unemployed back in March of last year. A contract had ended, and I found out about doing this stuff just through watching YouTube, and just got going through there. You got to be motivated to do this. This is something that requires commitment and good communications, and a good business head on you. Doesn't have to be too much, just enough so you know what you're doing, and things of that nature. It's really simple, guys, to get into. And anybody can do this. That's able to drive, that likes to drive, that has a good work ethic, so you're always on time, and you're honest with picking up samples, and you know how to use your camera on your phone, and you can answer questions. Sometimes you'll get questions from the general public. Well, how do you get into this stuff? Because my significant other wants to get into it, or something like that, or I want to get into it. So I'm running as an independent contractor, so it's basically my own business. It's under a 1099 type of thing, but actually my business gets paid, not me, and then my business pays me. So that's how this works out. So you'll need to have a separate business checking account to keep everything separate, a business entity, your EIN number, and other things I've discussed in the past. And it's simple to get into. You do not need to have any super elaborate vehicles for this. If you have something, though, that's refrigerated, you might be able to get into carrying different types of things in the medical arena, possibly vaccines or blood or other things that need to be delivered to other hospitals or clinics. But you don't need anything elaborate, guys. It's not this hard to get. It's not really hard to get into. I don't want to discourage or encourage anybody at this point, because this industry is kind of having some bad times because of our current economy. But if you want to do something to make some side money, it works. This works for me. It's a thing I do after my 9 to 5, and it's helping me build up money for, in the future, getting more vehicle. I want to get a cargo van, for example, and you get known in the industry too, because you're out meeting customers. So that's all I have for tonight. I hope your weekend goes good, and I'll be talking to you all later. Bye.